Prepare yourselves for a shocking confession. I am a millennial, and what did my millennial ass used to watch back when I was a wee boy? Xena, Warrior Princess, a fantasy TV series starring Lucy Lawless and a bunch of other people I don't care about. For those not familiar with the show, Xena was a powerful warlord who, along with her companion Gabrielle, went on a quest to atone for her dark past of killing people, by again killing even more people, but for the greater good this time. Along the way, they met various characters, time traveled, entered the spirit realm, turned into samurais, ghosts, and even talk show hosts. Yeah, it was a weird show, but insanely popular for its enjoyable action, light-hearted quirkiness, and funniest butchering of Greek mythology and language ever.
Paristo parapoli, yetsi ketsi. Yasu kale mira, yasu kale nikta, yasu kale noches.
For a show that managed to run for 6 whole seasons, there are not many games covering the mythos of Xena, which is surprising and a little disappointing. The most notable of them is the originally titled Xena, Warrior Princess, developed by Universal Studios Digital Arts and co-published by Electronic Arts for the PS1 back in 1999. There is a Game Boy Color version as well, which is a pretty shitty Legend of Zelda clone, but the PS1 version is actually an interesting little hidden gem, flawed for sure, but still an enjoyable experience. Does it manage to capture the essence and magic of the show? Let's find out. The game's plot doesn't follow any of the show's episodes. Instead, it creates its own story, which is your typical fantasy stuff. Perfectly serviceable for the game's action, Xena must defeat the evil goddess Calabrax, who kidnapped Gabrielle and intends to sacrifice her to bring forth a new world order, free from the rule of the gods, and create a new world where she will be the big boss of it all. Along your travels, you'll visit various areas such as the fiery pits of Hades itself, and meet a wide cast of weird characters who end up either killed or beaten up by our warrior princess. And that's pretty much all there is to it, really. There's no Doxer, no Aphrodite, no Callisto, no one from the series shows up to make things more interesting. Well, Ares pops up sometimes just to berate Xena and point out how useless he is. So there's that, I guess. Not even the characters that do appear in the game are that interesting and lack a lot of depth. Xena's relationship with Gabrielle is nowhere to be seen, especially the not-so-thinly veiled lesbian undertones. As for everyone else, they are your basic scheming villains with barely any characterization. I'm not saying that the show had any intricate or deep plot elements, but I wish the game had a bit more meat to it regarding its story. It's fine though, since it mostly acts as an excuse for its level's gameplay elements, and it does a decent job at that. It also wastes no time getting into the action, with Xena visiting the ruined village of Obalus, rescuing its people and defeating the evil pirates who have taken over. Let's see if Xena's gameplay is better than its basic plot. Right off the bat, Xena amazed me with its beautiful graphics. Granted, it's a PS1 game, so all the weirdness you've come to expect from the system is here, with wobbly textures, low draw distance, and awkward 3D models dominating the screen. The pre-rendered cutscenes are also truly a sight to behold. Why does Gabrielle look like a Deus Ex character? And why does Xena look like an absolute tad? Oh well, at least the in-game models are much better and the environments varied and detailed. Upscaling the fuck out of the internal resolution helps as well. As for the sound, oh boy. There is music playing, but you'll never notice it, because all you'll get to hear is the constant clashing of swords and the screaming. My god, there is so much screaming in this game. The enemies scream when they get hurt, they scream when they die, and Xena does her trademark battle cry every time she pulls off a fancy attack. Reminds me of the time I was in a psych ward. As a psychologist, not as a patient, yet. Overall, the game's presentation is pretty spot on, and if you can ignore all the screaming, you'll enjoy beautiful fantasy landscapes and perilous dark caves, all in a few hours. You won't spend much time sightseeing, unfortunately, since you'll get attacked by pirates almost immediately. When I first booted up the game, I was terrified I'd have to contend with all the bad gameplay elements of the time. Annoying tank controls, confusing maze-like level design, and general punishing and frustrating bullshit. But no, none of what I mentioned is here. What a delightful surprise! The controls are fluid and responsive, the level design is linear and straightforward, and the puzzles don't require any excessive brain power. It's an action game after all, I just wanna press buttons and watch explosions happen. Xena can walk, run, and jump to clear various platforming segments. When it comes to combat, she can kick, slash with her sword, use running attacks, block and sidestep to dodge, and of course use her famous chakram to defeat foes in 1 or 2 hits, or even solve puzzles requiring precision and keen observation skills. Unfortunately, not everything is perfect regarding the controls. First of all, the camera. It's probably the worst I've ever seen in a 3D action hack and slash game. It swings wildly at Xena's every movement. You can control it while moving, and it never seems to be able to follow your character's back properly. You can reset it manually, but I swear, it has a mind of its own. Xena also has 8-way movement, which isn't too bad when you're just fighting or exploring large areas, but when you have to do platforming that requires speed and precision, it's just a clunky, infuriating mess. The Hades levels frustrated me to no end because of these flaws. You have small sinking platforms to jump to, tight pathways filled with enemies, puzzle solving while having to dodge ghosts that insta-kill you, and if you miss a jump and land on the lava, you're dead. And when you die, you have to restart the level from the beginning, no checkpoints whatsoever. To be fair, occasionally you can pick up a power-up that resurrects you when you die, and the levels are very short and straightforward, but accurate platforming with clunky movement and an unresponsive camera was such a pain, I cannot properly describe it. Thankfully, the rest of the game is much better, and there's plenty of good stuff here. Like I said before, you'll be visiting a variety of different places, such as lush forests, fiery caves, dark labyrinths, and snowy villages. Missions are varied as well, and I always had something new to look forward to. You'll be rescuing hostages, clearing out enemy camps, saving Gabrielle, and defeating mythological beasts, such as the mighty Cyclops and the annoying Minotaur. There is even everyone's favorite type of mission, an escort mission, complete with an old guy that walks way too damn slow, and enemies that of course focus on him, instead of a lady with a sword that is slowly disemboweling them. Lots of variety when it comes to the gameplay, and the combat is pretty fun too, mostly because you can abuse sprinting and combine it with a kick or sword slash for a charging attack which deals a lot of damage and keeps you mobile in case you're surrounded and under attack. It looks goofy as hell, and it is, but it's just so enjoyable turning yourself into a Beyblade and completely demolishing your foes. And if that's not enough, you can pick up various items that replenish your health, boost your stats, or even power you up with additional elemental magic for even greater damage, making melee combat a blast. Your chakram, on the other hand, is pretty difficult to control and takes a lot of time getting used to. You can throw it wherever you want and control it while it's still flying, but aiming it is super imprecise and floaty. Unfortunately, you'll need to master it as quickly as you can, because a lot of puzzles and boss encounters demand swift and precise chakram throwing, which along with the clunky platforming led to a lot of unwanted frustration. Yes, the gameplay can be full of jank and annoying at times, but if you survive with your controller intact, you'll enjoy a fairly decent combat system, engaging missions, and fun puzzles and boss encounters. Xena Warrior Princess is a very fun experience and such a pleasant surprise when it comes to licensed games. It's not perfect, the controls aren't as smooth as I would like, and some parts demanded greater precision than the game could handle. But despite those annoyances, the combat is fluid, the graphics beautiful, and the writing witty and funny. If all you want is no-nonsense, hack-and-slash action, then this is the game for you. And that's all I had to say about Xena Warrior Princess. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe for more stuff. You know how it goes. Have a great day, and until next time, take care and have fun.